Why do I even have PTO and sick if I cannot use it? For a little background and context, I, F22, am, unfortunately, stuck in a retail position that I've had for a little over a year where my boss makes it nearly impossible for me to use my vacation, call out or even use sick time. Every time I try to get some time off, one of my coworkers is going on vacation or we are entering a blackout, where multiple weeks are blocked off so no one can call out or use vacation. Or I get flat out denied for my request. I also have about 76 hours of vacation accrued and I want to use it. That's what it's there for, right? I'm incredibly burned out to the point it's taking a toll on my body physically and emotionally. I am also full-time, 40 hours a week, but as I stated above, she will not let me use my earned time off. I have asked for time off since April and the next available time would be early November. I've always compromised and worked with her, the schedule, and that's maybe the problem. I've also asked multiple times for an explanation on why I'm being denied, and all that she can say is that I'd be taking too much time and they need me, or she simply just can't do it. I've even requested not using the full amount of my vacation and only a few days of it, trying to be considerate, and still got denied. Have any of you been in this situation? What can I do? What should I do? Is this all a lost cause? Am I overreacting? Also, I should note that I have taken time off before, but it's a struggle. I'm met with little comments when I've called out sick with COVID twice, or a stomach bug. At this rate, you're going to lose all of your sick time if you keep calling out. Having COVID isn't an excuse to take a vacation, or even threatening to get HR involved if I don't provide a doctor's note within 3 days of not coming into work but using sick time. PTO is part of my benefit package to use as I need it. It's not a request, it's advanced notice of my absence. You can either use it to staff accordingly or ignore it and be short the day of. Staffing is a you problem. You should always put you first. If you give them notice weeks before that you want to use your vacation, they should allow you to. Remember, you have every right to use your vacation, and it's really not your problem that it gets busy at work. It honestly sounds like they are manipulating you. If it were me, I would consider finding a new job. Remember, PTO prepare the others. And warn her that if she keeps denying your time off, you'll be forced to look for other employment elsewhere. And then she'll be down an employee. And up a certain creek without a paddle. The manager seems to think she owns you. I advise reading your employee handbook and policies. If you have accrued that much time, it is unlikely she is continually allowed to do it. Is there someone above your manager? Maybe speak to them and offhandedly remark you have been denied time off multiple times. It all depends on how bad you need it. I would tell them well in advance that I won't be there from XX to YY date. Not ask, tell, and be prepared to walk. If they press for details, tell them your health is worth more than your job. Jobs are plenty. Health is a one-time thing. If you're not prepared to walk, ask them when you can take PTO and tell them that date will stand no matter what. If they won't give you a date, prepare for job interviews and leave. Just call in citing digestive issues. And if they press for details, tell them you're not indulging their corporophilia. Bloody hell, just go through HR. Explain you've been denied requested time off repeatedly with no proper explanation and want to use it. When I worked retail, it was like this. Had PTO, sick, vacation, insurance, but they actively tried to prevent us cashiers from knowing we had these benefits and using them. Guilt trips, threats, always being too busy to check balances or answer questions. If none of that worked, they just denied PTO, vacation requests because we are full-time and do not get to dictate our schedules. We have to be available. I didn't even know I had health insurance. I broke my foot and didn't get medical attention. It wasn't too bad, but obviously broken. Because of that, it took a very long time to heal on its own, and no one even asked me why I didn't go to the doctor for it. That was mostly this certain store. I later transferred to another store in the chain and found out then that I did have health insurance. Firstly, find out if your state requires that an employer pays out any accrued PTO when you leave. Some states say that whatever it says in the employee handbook goes. So if that's the case, see what it says in your employee handbook. Some locations more than others take a dim view of denial of benefits you have earned. I'd start with a look at your state's Department of Labor website. Can you talk to HR? If you're getting continually denied for asking for less than a week off, you need to talk to someone. What you need to do is 1. Look for another job. 2. Find another job and get hired. 3. Put your foot down and demand time off. 4. Give notice while you're away, so she cannot take your PTO from you. She threatened HR? Okay, let's go there. Act dumb as heck. Oh, good idea. Why don't you go with me and we can get this all in writing so I don't mess up. Tell don't ask. Any reply in the negative gets I won't be here whatsoever. If I don't have a job when I return, no worries, I know a lawyer. Never ask. What is being lost on these comments is we're talking at OP as if there will be no consequences for them just taking the day off without permission. That's the way it should be. But not the world we currently live in. Take it from a fellow non-salaried employee. We are expendable to the company. If OP just doesn't show up, there's like an attendance policy in their handbook. At my work, 3 days off without permission equals termination. OP risks losing their job. I know we're all about anti-work here, but OP still needs to live until we get change made. That being said, I do agree with the comments here to consider talking to HR. When my boss was constantly trying to deny my time off unless I had what they considered a valid enough reason, I went to HR and HR, for once, took my side. If OP lives in a state when unused PTO is paid out when you leave, then absolutely look for other work. Give no notice. And just leave. They'll have to pay out your PTO to you then if you live in a state with rules like that. Not all PTO carried over on a calendar year. So time you can't use is time you'll never get back. Just consider that. The situation is complex and unfair, but this is exactly why we need to keep fighting for the non-salaried employees in call centers and retail employees that don't enjoy even half the benefits of those who are here giving really poor advice about what OP should do in this situation. We don't live in that socialist ideal yet. We have to work for it. Which means, in the meantime, there are constraints on the lowest cogs in the machine. You need to stop forgetting us in these conversations. I used to work somewhere that did blackout. I was there a few years. By the time I left, it seemed like half the year was blackout. One of the main functions of a managerial position is to manage the people they oversee and manage how work is distributed. If your manager is unable to delegate your responsibilities to other employees during your absence, or do some of the work herself, I'd say that they're a failure at what they're hired to do. Being a manager isn't an excuse to be a CNT. I don't understand why people with no sympathy or care for their coworkers enter managerial positions. It's like a person who hates children becoming a teacher. Your notifications for using your time are not requests, they're notifications. Your manager is just a dick. I've worked retail my whole life and am very aware of blackout dates. That's why we hire seasonal though. Even if you didn't hire seasonal, there's no reason why you can't take a few days off. We just use a bright chalk marker to take off on blackout dates. It isn't so much a store plan as it is your individual manager being an asshole. I doubt you work 7 days a week. What are they gonna do if you don't show up? Go get you at your home? If you're desperate to not lose the job, then go to a doctor and ask for a psychological license, which they cannot fire you for. Never tell them why you need the time off. If they ask, tell them that's personal information. That makes it impossible for them to decide that someone else's request is more important than yours.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.